Okay. So, in general, when I come across a lot of people, there are a lot of myths and misconceptions around AI and how AI functions. So, I thought I'd just take the opportunity to, probably make things clear. So I've kind of divided my session into four parts, which is understanding what AI is, the different types of AI, taking a deeper look at AI, and how to prototype, which might help you for your hackathon. Okay, so people believe that AI is something that it's kind of very difficult to implement, or it's just a commodity in the world of technology, restricted to a few. But it's much simpler than that, right? So the term artificial intelligence was coined by John McCarthy. You can see him right here, and he defined it as making intelligent machines. So, let me just take you through a little bit, into how inventions came up, right? So, the best invention, arguably, has been the wheel. So, the wheel was invented very long ago, and it's still in use right now. So you do see wheels on your vehicles. You see wheels in the form of gears that make up a lot of machines and so on, right? So you can see inventions kind of evolve over time, where humans first discovered how to make tools, and using tools they made different machines. You can see advanced machines such as aeroplanes, or robots that can do a specific task. And humans have always strived to make machines more and more intelligent, do tasks much more efficiently, and have human level intelligence. So, I mean, if you had to automate things, right? So for that, you need a human level intelligence. And what makes humans intelligent is their ability of cognition. So when I say cognition, what I mean is, we have the ability to see, to hear, to feel, and touch, and to talk, right? We use these sensory inputs and outputs. We kind of make a decision based on them, and we take actions. So, for example, if you were to see a tiger in front of you, you would run away. I mean, that's one way of putting how you make a decision, right? So, if you had to, make a machine take a similar kind of a decision, you need to provide an input to the machine, which can be in the form of raw data. It would be in the form of images, it would be in the form of sound. Your machine needs to have reasoning abilities, where it processes this information, reasons something out, and then your machine takes an action on top of that. So that's what AI is, right? I mean, when a machine can mimic human level intelligence, that's when you can say your machine is artificially intelligent. So what are the different types of AI that are there? I kid you not, if you write if-else blocks, or if you write nested if-else blocks, you have implemented some kind of AI, because they are nothing but rule-based classifiers. So a simple example would be, if you have a kind of a color sensor attached to an Arduino, and if you're making a decision based on that, if you want to light up a bulb based on the color that your Arduino is sensing, it's AI. No, I'm just kidding. The three forms of AI are narrow intelligence, general intelligence, and super intelligence. So narrow intelligence is when your machine is really good at doing one specific task, but it's not good when you give it a similar task to complete. So let me give you an example. Let's say your machine is really good at identifying good apples and bad apples. Apples that have that are rotten versus apples that are ripe. So you cannot use the same machine to identify rotten carrots and really good carrots, or you cannot use the same machine to identify the difference between an apple and a carrot. So that's what narrow intelligence is. And as humans, right now we are in the phase where we have kind of perfected narrow intelligence. We're able to make specific machines do a specific task, but they're not good at adapting to another task. General intelligence. So general intelligence is, you can regard it as strong AI or human level intelligence, where AI is capable of doing much more complex tasks. So this is still, a more of a research topic right now, and the main thing that revolves around general intelligence is the mind theory or the consciousness theory, right? So until we can figure out what really constitutes our consciousness, getting general intelligence is difficult because machines can't really think for themselves. They're much more logical, and they react.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue. So, general intelligence is something that's still in its research phase. So, if you were to think about different forms of narrow intelligence, such as speech recognition or computer vision, these technologies don't really work together right now. So until then, general intelligence is something which is something that we're looking to achieve by 2045. That's what giants like Google and others predict. Super intelligence is when your machines become smarter than humans. So this is probably going to be the last invention that humans ever make, because once machines are smarter than humans, they can make decisions for themselves, and as well as humans as well. So a good example of I'm sorry, what?
But we cannot see your screen. You have to share your screen again.
Okay. Is it visible now?
No, not yet.
Okay, it says that I'm sharing my screen.
Could you try it again?
Yeah, I just did.
We still can't see it. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just did it again. Let me know if you can see it. Or I shall connect back. Give me a minute.
No, yeah, we cannot see it. Yeah, can you do that?
Close. As I was saying, super intelligence is something that is kind of far-fetched at the moment, and it is more of a theoretical concept. But to give a good analogy, it could be Ultron from the Avengers, or it could be Skynet from the Terminator series. Okay, so let me move on. So let me break down what AI is, right? So, when your program or your machine has the capability of human intelligence, that's what artificial intelligence is. Now, whenever the term AI comes in, the next closest synonym to it is machine learning, right? So, machine learning is nothing but a set of algorithms that are capable of learning things by themselves. So I think most of you might have come across MX plus C, right? Or you might have, if you're a computer science student, you might have learned algorithms, right, like k-means clustering and stuff. So these are all machine learning algorithms which are capable of performing certain tasks, given that you have given them a raw input. And the latest craze is deep learning. So deep learning is nothing but a subset of machine learning, and it is more inspired by the way the human brain works. So a primary component of deep learning is neural networks. And neural networks are capable of identifying features. So I'll explain it, as we go ahead. So some of the common machine learning, algorithms are regression, classification, clustering, and dimensionality reduction. So regression is nothing but trying to get your output result based on a couple of input parameters. So let's say you have the input as the temperature, and you want to see what what the humidity could be like, right? So that's what regression is. It's about predicting what the output could be based on inputs. Classification is more about classifying what your current input is. So, for example, if your input is an item on Flipkart, and you know what its price is, you know what the category of the item is. Let's say it's an electronic device, and you know how many pieces were sold in the past month. So you could classify it as whether you want to put it on sale or whether you don't want to put it on sale. So that's kind of what classification is. Clustering is more about gathering data together. So based on learning data, you can create clusters, and when you input a new data, it can be classified into a specific cluster. So again, I'll take the example of Flipkart, and let's say you do cluster different kind of phone categories, and the mid-range, or rather, the phones that sell quite a lot versus phones that don't sell quite a lot, and phones that are that are in between. So and maybe your data set includes parameters like price and how many phones were sold, and the company, and so on. So when you input a new a record into your model, you can cluster it into a specific form. And dimensionality reduction is nothing but getting rid of features that are not important. So each record can have about 1,000 features. So probably I'll give an example of let's say a bank, and a bank has to decide whether to give you a loan or not, and you can have several features connected to you, as how many loans you have taken before, whether you're married or unmarried, how old you are, how much you earn, how many bank accounts you have, and so on, right? So there might be some features which are necessary, and there might be some features that are not. So using dimensionality reduction, you can get rid of features. So I keep saying the word features, right? So even as human intelligence, we're constantly taking features as input, and getting some output out of it. So a good example could be your laptop, right? So your laptop has several keys on it. So multiple keys, when they come together, it's a keyboard. Your laptop might have a mouse pad. Your laptop does have a screen. Your laptop may or may not have a webcam. Your laptop, kind of folds into a notebook, right? So when you see these features together, you know it's a laptop, right? Even now, let's say hypothetically, I do show you a laptop which does not have a keyboard. You would still recognize it as a laptop, and you would know that the keyboard is missing. So, basically our brain is processing tiny little features, putting these features together, and getting the end result. So that is what AI does as well. Now, machine learning are algorithms, right? And they kind of have a limit. So you can't really put in give it data which have like millions of feature points. So that's where deep learning comes into the picture. So now let's say you want to create, AI which works with images or works with sound. So these typically have a lot of features, right? So an image consists of pixels, and each pixel constitutes something, right? So that's a lot of data points. When you need to, classify, or when you need to identify something in an image, it's difficult. So that's where deep learning comes in, where deep learning, the neural networks of deep learning are capable to identify which features to learn and which features to ignore. Uh, so there are several techniques in deep learning. The two primary ones are supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So supervised learning is where a human kind of helps the neural network learn, and unsupervised learning is where the neural network is capable of figuring out stuff on its own. So an example of supervised learning could be, making your machine identify between a cat and a dog. So you need to, label your images as cat, and you need to label your images as dog, and then your model kind of figures out, the difference between them. So there are several use cases of deep learning. These are the most common ones. So the first one being image classification. So here you're trying to classify what the entire image is, whether it's an airplane or whether it's a cat or if it's a horse and so on. This is really useful when you're trying to figure out a scene, or figure out an object when it consists of the entire image. Now, the problem starts arising when you have multiple objects in the same image, right? So that's where you need object detection. So object detection just builds over image classification, where it's able to tell the different objects, in an image, and it's also able to identify the location of the object. And finally, NLP. So this is something a lot of people work on. So NLP is nothing but understanding. It's a suite of programs that are capable of text to speech, speech to text, and understanding what exactly is in the sound, right? So what exactly the user is trying to say. It's so if I say, like, hey Google, can you tell me the time? So hey Google is the hot word that kind of triggers my Google Assistant, and when I say what is the time, I'm trying to ask a question, and the question is about time. So that's how the machine is capable of understanding that I'm trying to ask for the time, and it returns the result as whatever the time is. So that is NLP. So, how do you go about prototyping? So, there are two ways you could go about it. One is you could, build the models yourself, or the other way is to use some services that are already available. So, if you're new to, the entire concept of using artificial intelligence, I would suggest to first, utilize the services that are already available. So the all the big players pretty much have their own services with respect to computer vision and NLP, right? So Microsoft has their cognitive services, AW has Poly, Lex, Transcribe, and others. Google Cloud has APIs to do OCR. OCR is character recognition. It has services for image classification, and IBM Watson, is much more feature rich. Uh, but if you truly want to get into the spirit of a hackathon, I would suggest to build something yourself. So if you're adept with Python, and if you're not scared of installing dependencies, then I would suggest just Google search for repositories, or GitHub search for repositories, and build something that you want to. So these were my 2 cents on AI, and I'm also going to be the mentor for the hackathon. So I will be available on Discord, and you could hit me up, and I could help you out with your solutions. So if you do have a question, please shoot.
Guys, if you have any question, please type it out in the chat box.
I guess nobody has a question right now. That's okay. So I guess when people are building their solution, they could hit me up on, Discord.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Akash. That was an amazing session.
You're welcome. Okay, thanks for having me then, and good luck with the hackathon, everyone, and stay in touch. You can hit me up if you have any doubts, and also I'm going to be one of the judges, so I'm going to have a close look on how we are going to implement things. Cheers, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Akash.
Next up, we have Mr. Singham Mohit Reddy. Being extremely skilled in web development, he is one of the contributors in Fluent Design for Web, a CSS framework which aims to help developers to use Microsoft Fluent Design components for their websites or web apps easily. He shall be talking about the CSS framework and how to get started with Fluent Design along with a product demo. Over to you, Mohit.
Thank you, Chirag. Good afternoon to one and all present. I am Mohit Reddy. I'll be talking basically about the Fluent CSS framework. So I'll share my screen, then we'll start. Okay, wait once. Is my screen visible?
Yes, we can see it, Mohit.
Okay. 1 second, I'll share my PPT. Now, is, is the PPT visible?
Yes, yes, Mohit.
Yeah. So this is the PPT based on Fluent Design. So basically, Fluent Design is a framework, CSS framework. Everybody like me, many of us who got into our engineering courses, we started using internet a lot and seeing internet a lot. The first thing that crossed our minds was websites, how to create a website or something like that. So we started creating a number of websites and all that things. We started trying out new things. But when we started building website, we had to build every time the website from the scratch. So it didn't help us. It was a lot of waste of time. So we thought of creating a framework that would help actually to create a website in a more precise way to the accordings of a person or something that we want. Then the Fluent CSS is actually it's a you can say cross-platform usage application or CSS framework that you can call it, because it does not only help in creating websites for laptops or PCs, but you can create a website for mobile devices and for tablets too. So we can create websites, web apps, and progressive web apps using Fluent CSS. And then we have also created node packages for the node developers for the ease of use. So basically, I'll start demonstrating how the React
Hello.
would be there. Hello, yeah, hello, yeah, hello, hello, yes,
You can continue, Mohit. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll show you the basic setup of the React, how the Fluent can be integrated with the React, and how a basic project can be started using Fluent CSS plus React. So I'll start my hands-on session right now. So just create a new folder. You can name it anything. So I would go with a name demo one. So you just need to go into the demo folder. You need to open the command line. Then for creating a project, so first we need to create a name for it or something like that. We need to give the name. So here we go. Test. So here now everything is getting installed. So you need to hold on for a second. So yeah, the project has been created now. So we need to get into the test folder now. So we change the directory now. We get into the test folder. Now when we get into the test folder, we just use another npm command to install the Fluent modules. So we do this. So yeah, so now the modules are getting installed. So yeah, no, packages are installed now. So now you can actually start your project. So basically you can just press npm start. So it will launch the website directly and you can see the React icon on the browser. So can you see the web page? Is my web page visible?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, cool. Now I will show you just a simple change so that you can start editing on your own. But I'll not show you everything. You can just go go on it yourself. I'll just show how to start editing and everything, how to start your thing. So you go in here, app.jss, you open the Visual Studio Code or any editor that you have, text editor. So you come here, you remove these statements. So you remove this and you just type h1. So you can type hello friends, and then you can actually import the Fluent modules. So basically, it's you can see here that to use the import for importing the Fluent modules, you just need to copy these two things and just paste it in your app.js. Paste it here, save it, and now check out your app. See, you can see hello friends. So basically, this whatever designing or whatever bold letter, whatever the size of the letter has come, it's not only due to the header tag, but it's also due to the importing of the Fluent CSS. So this is the basic setup for the React that you can start with, and then you can further go on using the Fluent Design for web. So you can go on using this documentation that is made. It's like a bootstrap or a materialized documentation. You can go through everything. Everything is given here. You can go through and you can update your app. So I'll make a native app using just Fluent CSS. So this is all for React, guys. If you want to move more on from here, you just get started with the documentation, and it will help a lot. And you can go on building good or great websites. And this will React will also help you in building the apps at the same time. You can make progressive web apps. So right now I'll show you the native app just using the Fluent CSS. So basically, Fluent CSS, we will be designing this web page, the two grids, like the 50-50 sharing part of the screen, and we will design a side navbar, and we will design a modal. Okay, so I'll show you how getting started. So basically, when you get started, there are links here that you can add for CSS and for your icons. But I would rather suggest you can directly go into the boilerplate. You can save your some time. Just take the whole boilerplate. Just take it, copy it, and go to any of the project window. I'll go here. Okay. I'll create another folder like demo 2. I'll open this with VS Code. So basically, we have already copied the boilerplate. So I'll directly paste the boilerplate. So this is the boilerplate. So the meta properties are not required right now. So you can just remove it. I'll just save it and I'll show how natively it looks and what are the upgrades that we are going to do. So this is the native page that comes with the boilerplate. This is how it looks. In VS Code also, I have been using a extension known as Live Server. Actually, this helps to directly, after saving, there's a live updation in the web server, so you can see direct changes on the web page. Now I will add a few things so that we could make the web page look something like this. So we are trying to create this, and let's see what happens. We will see. Okay, so this is basically grid style. So basically, I'll show you grid. Okay, so the grid is divided into 12 columns. So if you want to divide a screen like we have seen, okay, I'll open this with new tab. See, here it's actually a 50-50 division. So actually, when the screen is divided in 12 and you just need two parts, So you can use 6 plus 6, so that you can see on my mouse over there is a 6 and a 6. So it's a half division. You can use this if you want just two parts of a web page. And for that, you don't need to do much of a thing. You just go here, you just put 6, large 6, medium 6, and you just put it here. This is just medium and small 6 are just for the responsiveness of the page. So actually, when you go here, one second. Yeah, here and here 6. So it's like it's dividing the page into the equal parts. And okay, so I'll show you how to first add a side navigation bar. Then we can see how to put up an image and all that things. So as you can see, everything is given here. So you don't need to do much of a thing. We had a lot of troubles going through all this, creating everything from the scratch, but we developed this from our experiences. The most required and all the we have basically covered all the required inputs for a web page creation. So here you can go to the navigation indicators, and we want a side navigation bar. So basically just take the whole side nav bar, copy it, paste it here. Is the nav here. So paste it here, and you get to see something like this. See, the side nav is easily added. You didn't do much of a thing. You just took the nav side nav Fluent CSS project. You directly took the code from here. You just pasted it there. So you can actually upgrade according to your requirement, like whatever you want to do with the side nav or whatever different navigations bar that you want to use. So let's go now, setting up the whole this main thing, the image and the text part. Okay, so we can go here, we can go to styles, we can take a 12 column grid, we can take this. Okay, so you can just paste it, you can just remove this, you can just paste it here, and you can just make it 6. So you don't need to make it primary inverted, as my web page is white. If you do the inverted thing, it will go black, so it won't look good. So I would do this, and you can see that the two things are divided in this way. And once again, you can set this to 8 and check out. Yeah, this looks better. Okay, so let's see. Now we will add some content here, so that we want to check how the division is being done. So we will do directly lorem. So what lorem ipsum does is it actually once again. What lorem ipsum does is it actually generates a random text. So we got our text here, and here we need to add an image. So we need an image. We can directly add this image. So we can take it. We can copy the image link. We can put it here directly. img. Okay, so you can just paste it here. And now let's check how does it looks. So this is 1 second. 1 second, I'll check out. There's something going wrong. Okay. 1 second, guys. So, okay. Okay, so this is large 6, medium 6. Large 6, medium 7, 4, 9, 8, 9, 8, 12. Okay, okay. So my distribution was not right. So I'll again change my distribution. I'll open this with VS Code. So here I'll do 9, and now let's check it once again. Okay, so this is like a 50, that's a 50-50 division, like the half with the navbar and then the image. Now you can go on and add image. You already added an image, so now actually you can now add a, but we'll add a heading like a Fluent CSS. So we'll just add a h1 tag and we'll add Fluent. And so let's see. So this is how it sits right now. And then we can add a modal. So for adding a modal, you can directly go here. Go to controls. Okay, wait 1 second. Yeah, controls. One. Side panel overview window. Okay. We go into a window and then we add a modal. So basically modal is like a pop-up window that you get when you click on the option. So you can go to your web page, you can paste your button here. So just check now. There's an open window thing. Right now, there's nothing popping up, but now when we paste this, there will be some content coming up. Yeah, so this is some content. Primary, okay, yeah. Let's check out. So you can see the content. This is some content, and there's a model window popped up, and the background image is blurred out. So you can create all these basic stuffs using this Fluent CSS. Actually, when you go through all this, there are many things. Like if you want to put up a color, you can directly see the class primary blue. You go, suppose you want to implement a primary blue somewhere. So I'll say I'll implement it here. Okay, class primary. Okay, let's see. Okay, see the content is highlighted. See the box with blue color. So if you are checking this way, there's a lot of things that you can go into and you can explore. You can add many more things to your web pages. This is like a starting path where you start. You can build a website very fast. you can go to a next level. Then you can start adding some external CSS for very projected ideas or very particular ideas. But if you want to build a basic website, I am pretty much sure that you can go through all this stuff and you can make a beautiful website out of it. So I'm done on my part. Guys, any questions or something you can come up with? I can answer. Any questions?
Hey guys, if you have any questions, please put up in the chat box.
Suman asked the question, why is the division number? It's like a you can call it a even division, so that we could divide the web page into a number, so that we can divide, like if there's a 12, you can take a division for 3, 3, 3 and 4 times. So it actually depends on the developer how he counts the grid and how he sizes them up for the development. It's not really restricted to 12. You can go with any other number too. Hope I answered your questions now. Any other questions?
Guys, any other questions? Please type it out in the chat box.
And one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Like I'll just share my screen again. There's a small thing that I want to show. There's an app created using this, so I'll show you this. One second. This REVA hack thing. One second. This no, not this one. One second. I'll open. This one. Yeah. So this is an app that is created using React. So it's a progressive web app, and you can actually download the application. You can check out the link for the application. I'll submit the whole notepad document with you guys. I'll share the document. And one more thing, if you want to know how the app is completely built, I'll share a YouTube link for the app building. It's the guy has built over his channel, so you can go there, watch it. The channel name is Code Drop. I'll share the whole word file with you guys, and just check out for the things. If you want anything from me, I'll just drop all the things that I have in the chat box, so that you can go through it. So you can see. Yeah. Now, if you have something like queries, or if you are fine with everything, it's okay on my part.
We have a question, Mohit.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, it's always 12 grid division, so it's convenient. Yeah, it's something like it's a common practice when you have some already previously made frameworks and they have been made in a similar way. You cannot go in a very different way, because that doesn't help the developers. It actually creates a level of disturbance in them, because they need to learn the new thing and the new way rather than going with the traditional way. And if the frameworks designing can be different, but the standard rules or standard things that we want, if they are similar, that could help the developer in building or studying the new things in a simpler way. Hope I answered your question, Devanshu. No problem. No problem. Yeah. Any other queries, guys?
Guys, any other questions?
No, we are not eliminating CSS altogether, but we are trying to get a head start uh, from not from scratch, but we will be in a position where we have created a base model or a base thing where we can build many different things. So we are not eliminating CSS completely altogether, but we are eliminating it from writing from the scratch, which is very hectic and it's very difficult to size up your page for responsiveness. Rather, using your framework, you can eliminate that few things that take time and that actually do not need to be given time on, and you can actually add external CSS for specific designing. But yeah, you can eliminate CSS in a way saying that we are eliminating CSS rather from writing scratch. You can build a higher end application just from the top of another level rather than from scratch. Hope I answered your questions, Yavendra. Yeah, thanks. No problem. Yeah, any other queries, guys?
Yeah, Mohit, we have one more question.
Yeah. I'm reading the question. I'm seeing the chat box. Yeah, it's like every CSS has their own designing style. You cannot actually say that CSS of Bootstrap will be similar to CSS of Fluent Design. It's the few standard things that remain same. Like if you want the input, they will write in a bit of similar way, but the designing part, the output that looks on the screen would be different. So it's on you that particular liking of a framework. Basically, every framework comes out of a developer's perspective. The developer develops according to his experiences, what he has faced and what he has gone through, and what he likes, what he has seen through, and what he probably likes. That all things you can find is in his framework. So basically, choosing or implementing a style, it's like you cannot get a similar style in two frameworks, but you can get a basic standard setup for both of them, and you can then implement your external CSS to get you can tweak a little bit with your external CSS to get a original style, yeah, or whatever the required style that you want. Hope I answered you, Devanshu. Any other queries, guys? Any other queries? Accordingly. And there's something like we have implemented for the major usage of React. So if you want to make a React application out of it, so Fluent CSS will support in a better way. Other applications right now we didn't do anything other than React. React will be mostly supported, And then for basic web designing and all that thing, it works as a basic designing framework that all other frameworks works. So it's our own experience that we learn from, and we build this framework. Hope I answered, Prajwal.
I think we have no more questions. So thank you, Mohit, for the product demo. It was really amazing, and we got to know basics regarding Fluent Design. So thank you, Mohit.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
In our talks for the day, we have Kunal Kushwaha as our last speaker, co-founding Code for Cause and currently interning at CNCF. Kunal is passionate about Kubernetes, web development, machine learning, and DevOps. His talk is also something he is very passionate about, that is importance of open source and his contribution in MLH. Over to you, Kunal.
Thanks a lot, Diksha, for the introduction. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, Kunal, we can hear you.
And can you see my screen? It says Open Source 101.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, let's get started. Yeah, my name is Kunal, and this is a bit about me, blah, 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 blah. If you want to connect with me after the session, this is my Twitter where I'm mostly active. So Kush_Kunal, you can connect with me over there if you have further questions. In case we aren't able to answer that in this session, you can ask me over there. The schedule or the agenda for today is somewhat like this. So we'll be seeing what is open source, how you can, as students get involved in open source, and a few open source programs that you can apply to as students to get involved in open source. And in the end, we'll have a Q&A session. So what is FOSS community or free and open source software community? This is a code that I really like from Linus Torvalds, who is the creator of Linux and Git, that in real open source, you have the right to control your own destiny, and I believe that to be true. So what does it mean by when I say a project is, an open source project? Open as in free. Free does not necessarily mean that they cannot charge you for it. It basically means that it's, free to access, free to modify, and it's an inclusive community, so anyone can contribute to it, and open for reuse as well. All these limitations also come under various open source licenses. That is something you can look into, but this is the general idea. A few examples for this can be, let's say, Android. So Android is an open source project by Google, but you can see many companies are using it. So like OnePlus, Oppo, Samsung, Vivo. So when Android update comes, it comes to everyone, but outside it looks very different. So everyone has their own modifications of Android, different skins and stuff. So yeah, Android is an open source system, operating system, and Linux is an open source kernel. Or else we have VLC, Wikipedia. Red Hat has many products that are open sourced. Yeah. Python, programming languages. So you have Python, you have you have Git, which is a version control system. You have languages like C, C++, Java. They are open source. So why should you embrace open source? You get the quality and reliability, security and stability, adaptability and customization. So you can customize it as you like, freedom and flexibility, and the most important one is the cooperation and community. So cooperation and community is the reason why most people embrace open source, including me. These are just a few examples. This is what the development model looks like. There are a few project leads, and the volunteers are us. So we are the ones who are like contributing to their projects, and they are the ones who review our code and then merge our code in their main project. So why is contributing important? Well, like talking from a student's point of view, you get the real world software development experience. You get the community bonding, which is really important in making connections. You get the exposure of what it's like to work in a real world project environment with various people, and also you get to test your skills. So if you're learning web development and then you contribute to a good web development project, so you would have that confidence also that okay, now I know a bit of web development, that I can contribute to such large scale projects, which also brings me to satisfaction that the code that you're writing is being used by a lot of people around the world. That itself feels really good. So how do we step into the first world? The prerequisites are Git. So Git is a version control system which makes it really easy for us to, share our code with others. So you can look more into it. And this is a really important tool. Without this, it's going to be nearly impossible to contribute to open source. And after that, you need to have a basic knowledge of your programming language, obviously, and a basic to medium knowledge of your tech stack. Now, I say basic to medium because they don't really, expect you to be pros and stuff. So even beginners can contribute to open source software. These are just a few programs. I need to update this slide because a few of these programs are not anymore. So like Google Coding, RGSOC, these are not over here, but there's one other very popular program called Google Summer of Code. But this particular talk isn't about like, let's say, programs per se, but more about what are the benefits of contributing to open source. So what exactly is GSOC? Can anyone tell me? Just feel free to unmute yourself and tell me if you have heard about this. Or in the chat. No one knows about GSOC? Okay. So Google Summer of Code is a 16-week, well now it's 10-week long program started by Google aimed at promoting open source software development among college and university students. And yeah, I mean, a few myths about it is that it is not an internship from Google, and it's not a trend that you need to be a part of. So it's not like if you didn't do Google Summer of Code during your college years, then you are, you missed out on a lot of big things. So the benefits that you get from Google Summer of Code, you get from via just contributing to open source in general as well. So this is particularly about GSOC, but this particular thing is like the first two steps are for any open source contributions. So how do we contribute to open source? Well, first we need to find an organization, and then we code. Let's talk a bit more about this, finding an organization. So yeah, I mean, if you want to learn more about, let's say, Google Summer of Code or other programs, so I have a YouTube channel, Code for Cause. If you search for it, you'll find it. Over here, I have a really great video that is going to help you. 20 open source programs you can apply to. So you can check that out. And we have done like videos on open source, like GSOC in specific as well. So if you're interested in learning more about GSOC and stuff, just type GSOC over here and you'll find this video. But moving ahead, summer of code with google.com. So yeah, go to this website, summerofcodewithgoogle.com, click on how it works. No, not how it works. Actually, they haven't updated the site yet because, GSOC just got over. So they're still in the process of making, sites for next year. But what you can do is check the archives. Now, let me just find where the archives are. Where are the archives? I just saw the archive over here. Okay, never mind. We can just say summer of code organizations or archive over here. So you can see 20 organizations, Google Summer of Code archive. And over here, you can filter organizations by web development, end user applications, cloud, graphics, security, operating system, databases, so on and so forth. Let's say I like to code in Java, so I can just type Java over here. And it's going to, I can just go on 2020 projects that were related to Java. And here you can see there are so many projects. So this is a really good website for you to find organizations, not just specific to GSOC, but in general, if you want to contribute to open source, this is a really good way to find, organizations. You can go to this platform and search for organizations like this. So many organizations. Many of the organizations you might have heard of, like Blender and Ceph, Seagull, or the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, where I'm currently interning. So CNCF also has their own, open source projects, and like they do take part in like Google Summer of Code and community bridge programs. So these are very good, alternatives to your internships and stuff. Let me just show you GitHub. New window, GitHub. Go to github.com and then go to over here CNCF/mentoring. Go over here. Over here you can see that Cloud Native Computing Foundation takes part in Community Bridge, Outreach, Season of Docs, and Google Summer of Code. So this is currently where I'm interning. Community Bridge by the Linux Foundation. This is also a really great program. One thing that I'm strong believer in is that internship should not be unpaid. So you should never ever do an unpaid internship, and this is a paid internship. So that is also really nice, but it's not about money. It's about getting to work on such large scale projects and learn a lot of things, meet new people, go to events and stuff. Currently the events are virtual, but I also got a chance to go to various amazing events via open source. So like in South Korea, San Diego, Amsterdam, all these places. So who doesn't like to travel for free? So open source can definitely help you in that as well. But yeah, as you can see, like open source has a lot of benefits, and talking from like a student's point of view, you get to put something on your resume as well. So even if you're not an intern over here or something, you can still add something in your resume if you're like contributing to open source in general. Okay. We have made a separate video on this as well, again on Code for Cause, so do check it out. And there are some other things like machine learning bootcamp and stuff, data structures bootcamp, Ask the Expert podcast, workshops, things like that, so in case you're interested. But let's move forward. After you have found an organization, what do we do? What do we do after we have found an organization? Let me just select something. So let's say I found an organization. Finding an organization is a really, hectic task. It's going to take time. One thing I would suggest is don't expect the organization to choose you. So let me just share something. This is specific to GSOC. Don't worry about this. How to choose an organization? Yeah. So where is it? Yeah. So there are two approaches, either the top-down approach or the bottom-up approach. Just give me 1 second. Cool. So it's either a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach. First, in the top-down approach, you can first learn the skills, then choose the organizations that uses those skills. So first you, let's say, learn Java, then you find organizations that use Java. And then there's the bottom-up approach where you first learn the skills, where you first choose the organization, and then you learn the skills that are being used in that organization. But these approaches sort of coexist together. Because you might, if you're contributing to a really good project, which is highly recommended, you would find some technologies that you might not have heard of before. So there's always a learning curve involved, but that is a good thing because you're now getting to learn new things. So introduce yourself and stuff, like join the mailing list, search for projects like I mentioned, and look for open issues and fix them. So what do I mean by like open issues? Open issues, I mean issues that are like not like you can start with let's say beginner friendly issues. So Quarkus, let's say. So let's say you want to contribute to Quarkus, for example. So what you can do is go to issues section. Over here we have collected some good first issues for you, and you can start solving these issues. These can be like good first issues like documentation and stuff, normal refactoring and stuff, but that comes about how to get started with the project. But before doing this, actually what you want to do is use the project. Okay, so use the project, set it up on your local system, use it like a user, see what it does, go through the documentation and stuff. It's going to take time, and as you can see that the code base is really large. Then I get a question like, how do we understand large code bases? Well, you don't have to understand the entire code base. You can see these are like divided into modules and stuff, so you can just look into a particular module in which you're going to contribute to. So yeah, don't post such messages in the mailing list that I know Java, C++, can you suggest me any project or something. If you are not yourself showing any efforts in searching for the projects, then others are not going to either. So just don't be lazy, give it efforts and stuff, and you are the one who knows about your skill set, so you should study the projects and choose the ones that you like. Don't ask the projects to choose you. And this is specific to GSOC. Don't post such messages. It's really not open source spirit. And one thing I talked about was mailing list. So you can find mailing list like over here. Zulip. Quarkus is using Zulip, but you can find like many other organizations may use something else. So you can join the mailing list. Now, what is mailing list? It's sort of like a group chat, because if you're starting with such a large scale projects, you would run into some blockers and some difficulties, be that by setting up or finding some issues or like solving some issues. If you found a bug, you want to open up an issue or anything. So where do you have that conversation? You have that conversation with the people who are maintaining this project in the mailing list. Now, there are a few rules for mailing list. Don't DM anyone. Always be polite. Don't spam anyone. Don't use caps lock and stuff. Just be polite and be patient, because they might answer your queries in like 1 week or 2 weeks, and that is completely fine. Learn Git. This is true. This is something I already mentioned, that Git is a version control system which you need to know to use, in addition with GitHub, to collaborate with other people. If you want to learn more about Git, I did a video on that as well, like how to use Git to contribute to open source, so you can check that out. So yeah, that is about it. Yeah, so this is about GSOC specific. Don't worry about this. Yeah, so in case you're interested in learning, these all things, I didn't want this talk to be just focused on Google Summer of Code, because even if you don't get selected for GSOC, you can still get all the benefits. But this is something specific to like Google Summer of Code proposal. So just show enthusiasm. If you have previous work of the project, mention that and all those things. Don't worry about this. Don't copy paste from others and get feedback on your proposal. Yeah, but I have done this in detail on my channel. You can watch that. But even if you don't get selected for GSOC and you still contribute, then that is going to help you quite a lot. You can still put that on your resume. And if you get selected, you will get a mail like this that your proposal was accepted in Google Summer of Code. Didn't get accepted, then it's completely fine. You can still apply next year and don't give up. Few things I wish I knew before, contributing to open source is you don't need to be a pro. You don't need to be from a CS background. You don't need to be from a CS background. You don't need to understand the entire code base in order to contribute. So I mentioned this already. And you'll have to manage GSOC with your semester exams. That is true in case you get selected for GSOC. Interact as much as possible with other developers. Now this includes participating in discussions, going to events and stuff, attending events, conducting workshops, being active on GitHub issues and stuff. So yeah. And this won't happen. This is specifically about GSOC. Most people have these misconceptions that once you do GSOC, then everything works out and you don't need to work anything else. So that is not true. GSOC is a part of process. Obviously, it's a good thing, but it's not the only thing that is required to get a good job. So if you do GSOC, great, but you still need to work even after that. So talking about, let's say, your interview preparation, competitive programming, more learning new skills, making projects, and all those things. So if someone says that just do GSOC and any company will hire you, so that is not true. And that was it about this session. If you want to connect with me, I'm mostly active on Twitter. One more thing about Twitter is that I am an open source enthusiast, and if you contribute to open source or go to a lot of events, even international events or stuff, so over there speakers, no speaker is going to be connect with me on LinkedIn. Everyone is going to be connect with me on Twitter. So LinkedIn is really good in search of jobs and stuff, but if you want to network with people, then I believe Twitter is a better place because they don't even hang out on LinkedIn. So I believe people from Europe, they don't even use LinkedIn that much. People who are hired already, they don't use LinkedIn that much. But people who are active in the community, open source community, developer community, everyone uses Twitter. Okay, so Twitter is a really great place to network with people, meet other people, showcase your work. There's something called learning in public. So showcase whatever you're doing. You can showcase that on LinkedIn also, but in order to network with others, talk to others, build connections, Twitter is really good. So in case you have any doubts regarding any open source programs or anything at any time, my Twitter DMs are always open. You can add me on Twitter and ask any questions that might not be answered in this particular session. But that was about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me right now. Any questions?
Guys, if you have any questions, please type it out in the chat box.
I don't see any questions here. Is everyone allowed to add something in the chat? Because I am not.
Yes, they can.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. It's fine if you don't have any questions. If you do at any point of time, if you ever get started with open source or contribute to open source, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. And yeah, let's just wait for a few more minutes, see if there are any questions. All right. Okay. We have one question. How did you start your journey in open source? Yeah, I was in first year. I was looking for getting some real world experience, and I knew Java. So that's when I found an organization, Red Hat. Many of you might know about Red Hat. And the projects in Red Hat were really big, like really overwhelming at first. So I got selected in like Google Summer of Code in my freshman year with Red Hat. Then I mentored. Ever since then, like I've been involved in open source. I mentored in GSOC. Then I was a part of the MLH fellowship. Currently, I'm a Cloud Native Computing Foundation intern, and I'm also leading two pods at the MLH Fellowship. So I started like everyone else, started with just using the project, learning about the technologies mentioned in the project. So even if you know, like say 30 to 40% of the tech stack, you can still contribute because there's like a learning curve involved. So that is good. Other than that, I started, just contributing, started by writing blogs, writing some test cases, examples and stuff. And that's like, after that I got selected for GSOC, so I contributed in Google Summer of Code, and yeah, rest is rest. I'm in my third year right now, and open source has helped me quite a lot in, gaining skills and stuff. And then I got to attend events, talk at events, started the YouTube channel Code for Cause, which is focused on open source. So yeah. What is more important, larger regular number of commits or smaller but valid commits? I mean, totally depends. Every contribution counts, first of all. So if it's a small contribution like grammatical mistakes are being solved in your README file, that is also fine. But don't, just spam people like everyone did during Hacktoberfest. So if you were active on Twitter, you can see that the Indian community was not looking that good because of some people spamming on Hacktoberfest. So please don't spam anyone's repository. Yeah, Spamtoberfest, that happened, and everyone knows about it. So yeah, just for a particular T-shirt and stuff, don't do it. Yeah, the whole idea about open source is much more, bigger than swags and stuff. So yeah, Aman is asking YouTube channel name, Code for Cause. You can check that out. We focus on like guidance and stuff for college students and boot camps and webinars. So yeah, to answer Shivendra's question, every contributions count. So it does not really matter, if you're actively like, I'm not saying make a commit every day or every week. If you're just active in the community, interacting in discussions and contributing does not necessarily mean only writing code. You can also review someone else's code, update the documentation, and if you found a bug, you can report that bug and write a blog or something. That also counts as a contribution. So yeah. What do you aspire to become? I mean, I want to be a professor when I'm old. But before that, I want to just work on some good projects or companies like the products of whom are used by a lot of people. So yeah, that is what I want to do. Yeah. Thanks, Shivendra, for sharing. Yeah. Go to the different you have. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? No more questions. All right. So yeah, I mean, if there are no more questions, I hope you enjoyed the session. Please, please do check out the open source, community. It can really help you even in also having something to put on your resume, because I see most people in their first, second year, they join some unpaid internship just for the sake of the certificate and stuff. So that is not really going to help you much. Instead, don't worry about internships in your first or second year. Focus on building your skills and stuff. Focus on data structures, algorithms, and open source and stuff. That is going to help you much more. And yeah, you can put that on your resume as well. If you contribute to open source, you can ask for a referral from various people. So I contributed to organizations like Facebook, Google, Red Hat, Microsoft. So all these companies have their open source projects. So if you're contributing to Facebook's open source projects, let's say, then you are going to meet a lot of people from Facebook. In the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, there are a lot of Googlers also who maintain the projects. So yeah, I mean, if you're active in the community, they might be also able to, like, if they know about your work, they would also give you a referral and stuff. And referrals go a long way. So yeah, I mean, especially if you're from a tier 2, tier 3 college, referrals and like connections can really help you, and open source can help you in that. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining the session. Do check out the Twitter and the YouTube channel, and much more content over there about open source. And if you have any other questions for me personally, you can reach out to me on Twitter. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kunal, for showing us how important open source can be, and all of us will try to make a contribution, a small contribution to it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.
So that's it for today, folks. Hope you all had a great time and wish to see each one of you back tomorrow. Because today's events are just the start and we have more amazing sessions for you all to experience. We'll be having a first session tomorrow at 10 a.m. Make sure you join at least 5 minutes early. Thank you all. See you soon.